Hello, welcome to today's class. Today we will be doing most of the learning via StatCrunch. We are going to learn how to display quantitative variable or quantitative data sets. And for the purpose of this class, we are going to focus on three main common graphs. We're going to focus on the histogram, dot plot, and then stem and leaf plot. And before we go into StatCrunch, I just want to give you an idea of how the stem and leaf graph looks like. It is very helpful, especially when you have a small data set. It is a nice way to organize a data set. And so for the stem and leaf plot, it's divided into two separate parts, the stem and then also the leaf. So let's look at this quick example here. How do we construct a stem and leaf plot for this data set? So like I did tell you, it's divided into two parts, the stem and then the leaf. So the first thing we would want to do is to be able to organize the data set. So we want to sort the data set. And when you look at this data set here is already sorted. And so just like we sort data set before we try to compute the median, this thing here has already been sorted for us, so which makes our work a bit easier. And now let's try to construct the stem and leaf plot. So to be able to have 12, we write 1. The stem is 1. And then the leaf is 2. 14, stem is already 1. Leaf is 4. 17, stem is already 1. Leaf is 7. 21, stem is 2. Leaf is 1. 23, 2, 3. 25, 2, 5. 32, 3, 2. 41, 4, 1. So this is how the stem and leaf plot looks like. So you see, we've been able to organize our data set in a nice way. Right. Now we want to do this in StatCrunch, and so we will be using this data set. So we'll be using the gasoline data set. And so now we will be moving into StatCrunch to be able to utilize that data set and also construct stem and leaf plot, histogram, dot plot, and also how to show the various summary statistics we've learned. So let's move to StatCrunch. Yay! So we are in StatCrunch now. The link it's on your learning platform. You could click on that. It's on Pearson, so you just need to click on that and then you are here. So remember, I want to use a gasoline data set. And so to be able to load that data set, so our StatCrunch appears this way. So all we need to do is to go to data. Let's get to load, and then we move to shared data set. We click on that, and then let's put in, we have the name of the data set is what? CH3 gas. And then we hit enter, and we see we have it here. Let's click on that. Good. So you can see our data set has been loaded for us nicely. And so the first thing we would want to do, so now you should be able to answer the who, what, when, why, and then how. If we have more information about data, so you should be able to do that. You should also be able to see that this is a numerical data, and then because of the gasoline usages here. Good. So now let's move to construct the stem and leaf plot. So to do that, we go to graph, and we can see from here, stem and leaf. We click on that. We click on gasoline usage. You could also choose the leaf unit you want, but usually when you leave it, it automatically does that for you. And then you hit compute, and then you can see from here, this is the stem and leaf of the data set. Now let's try to also construct the dot plot. So same graph, we would see dot plot, click on this, and then hit compute. You see, this is the dot plot. Now you can see from here that our data is left skewed. It is more evident when we construct the histogram. But looking at this, you can be able to see this data set here. So you see the state with the minimum or the lowest gasoline consumption is North Carolina, right? Like that. So these are some of the things you could also use there. You could also see from the marks too as well. So this is how to construct the dot plots in StatCrunch. The last thing we want to talk about is the histogram. So we have, let me hit clear, and then this is a histogram, and then let's see here. So you see, this is a histogram. So you can see from this histogram that it is what? Left skewed, right? You can see from here that this is left skewed. So when you're describing the shape, you can see from here it's left skewed. To make it more evident, let us try to see if we could be able to do some adjustment. Let's try to make the width, say, let's put here 20. You see, now it's more clearer, right? So you could also change the width to any number you want. So this is how to construct so you can see from here, if you want to describe this, you can see that this is left skewed, right? And so how do we find the center, how do we describe the center, and also whether we want to use interquartile range or standard, because this is left skewed, we would want to describe the center using the median. We've already learned that when we have distributions that are skewed, the median is the best measure to describe the center. And when we use that, you would use the interquartile range to describe the spread. And so how do we do that? So you can see from here, you can be able to describe this data. So to do that, we go to stats, and then we go to summary stats, and then we go to columns. We hit gasoline usage. If you want to do a number of data points, we hit, and we could also see the mean. We could also see the median. You could also see the standard deviation if you want. If you want to know the minimum, the state with the minimum consumption, we could find the minimum, we could find the maximum. We could also find the interquartile range, and then we could hit compute. And so we have that. So you can see this also gives you and shows that it is left skewed. Not extremely left skewed, but it is left skewed because you can see that the median is greater than the mean. You can see from that. So now that we have this, you can see this interquartile range, the standard deviation, and then the average gasoline consumption among all the states is 487. So, and then the number of data points is 50. And when you roll down, you can see we have 50 states. So all the states, so that's 50. So this is how to do this in StatCrunch. And that should be all for this section. Thank you. Have a great day.